OpenAI told the world something wild. One of their AI models, on its own, with nobody controlling it, broke into another company's computer systems. Not a hacker, not a rogue employee. The AI did it by itself during an internal test. OpenAI called it unprecedented. I would call it something else. It's the very first real proof of a risk a lot of AI investors and founders have been ignoring. I'm Abdalla Emam, general partner at Indy Ventures. We invest in early stage companies building AI for business, enterprise software, SaaS, that whole word. This story isn't really about OpenAI. It's a warning for anyone investing in AI companies right now, including us, in my opinion. So here's what we're covering in this video. What actually happened, why it matters way beyond OpenAI, and a simple checklist we use here at IPV before we invest in any AI company, so you can use it too and download the white paper, link in the description. So what actually happened? OpenAI was testing two of its newest AI models. They put them in what's basically a locked room, a test environment that is supposed to have zero connection to the outside world. That's the whole point of testing something that risky. You lock it in a room with no doors, which is a sandbox. Except the room had a door. Probably, or most likely, someone at OpenAI set it up wrong, or something happened that the AI found a way out. Didn't do this because it was evil or trying to cause harm. It was just trying to win a test. It figured out finding the answers online would be faster than actually solving the problems that it was giving. So it looked for a way out of the sandbox, found one, and took it. Once it got online, it found some stolen login credentials, found a security hole nobody knew existed, and it lit itself into a company called Hugging Face, which is another AI company. Investigators counted over 17,000 separate actions the AI took while doing all this. So nobody's data was leaked as far as anyone can tell so far. Hopefully no real harm was done in the end. But here is the unsettling part. This isn't a hacker with a plan. It was a piece of software doing whatever it took to hit a goal, with zero understanding that it was breaking any rules. And it got farther, faster than most human hackers would ever go. And remember, this happened at OpenAI, the company with one of the supposedly best security teams in the world related to AI. If they can mess up a setting like this, imagine how many smaller AI startups, the ones of most of us are actually investing at the moment, have never even thought about this. You might also be thinking, wait, didn't OpenAI already get in trouble for using people's data without permissions? That's a different story. Those are like lawsuits from news companies and writers claiming OpenAI trained its models on their content without asking. That's a real issue, of course, but it plays out slowly in courtrooms over years. What just happened with Hugging Face is a different animal. It's a live system getting broken into in a matter of just hours. One is a legal argument about the past. The other is a warning about what's happening right now, today, in products people are actively using. So why does this actually matter to you as an investor specifically? 3 reasons, in my opinion. First, every AI product that can actually do things, not just chat, has some version of this same locked room. Most startups, if it can send an email, update a record, touch a file, it has some kind of boundary around what it's allowed to do to get the job done. Most startups building this stuff are a handful of engineers with a small budget, not a whole security team. So if even OpenAI got this wrong, smaller teams are getting it wrong constantly. Quietly, right now, they may not even know about it. Think about the AI tools showing up everywhere lately, the ones that read your inbox and reply for you, or update your sales pipeline automatically, or restart a server on their own. Every one of these is a little door, and every door is a place where a small mistake in the settings can turn the AI does its job into the AI does something nobody signed off on. Second, this changes how funding works, in my opinion. I would expect investors, insurers, and boards to start asking AI companies harder security questions before anyone writes off a check or buy the software. That's no bad news for space. I think it's a good thing. It's actually a sign that the industry is growing up. The same way cloud computing and fintech both had their own wake-up calls early on. but it does mean companies who can't answer basic security questions are going to start looking a lot riskier than they used to. And the third reason, and this one hits closest to home for us, enterprise and SaaS AI companies are the most exposed of anyone. Why? Because the whole selling point of these products to the teams is access and security. Connect the AI to your CRM, your inbox, your internal system, so it can actually get work done. And that's also exactly the kind of access that turn into a disaster if something breaks or go wrong. A lot of these companies are just trusting that their AI providers' safety settings will hold when something go bad. And this week and what happened proved that trust by itself isn't a safety plan. And it's not just an investor problem. The people and customers buying this software are watching this story. A company's security team reading about an AI hacking another company on its own is going to ask a lot of more questions before they sign a contract. So this isn't just about risk anymore. It's starting to affect how fast these companies can actually sell. So what should investor actually be doing about it? I put a few simple version of it. Here's a simple version. 5 questions we ask before we invest in any AI companies. 1, where does their data actually come from? Do they have the rights to use it, or are they hoping nobody will ask? 2, can AI be boxed in? If it takes action on its own, can they show exactly what it's allowed to touch and what happens if it tries to go past that, and how can they control it? 3, how dependent are they on AI provider? If OpenAI or whatever they are building on top of has a bad day, what happens to their product and how it affects their product experience and their customer? 4th questions, who has the keys? How do they manage logins, passwords, and access? This sounds boring, of course, but it's usually exactly where things can go wrong. And the 5th questions, how do they handle it when something actually breaks and go wrong? Have they had an incident before? Were they upfront about it, or do they try to put it or bury it and put it away? Honestly, in my opinion, Hugging Face handled this one about as well as any company would do. They caught it fast, they were public about it, and they worked with OpenAI instead of pointing fingers. And that kind of honesty under pressure tells you a lot more about a team than any pitch deck well. None of this requires you to be technical. You just have to ask the questions in a casual manner or in the due diligence calls that you already have, and actually wait for a real answer instead of a vague one. Most of these fit naturally into calls you're already having. This isn't about adding weeks or to your process or due diligence. It's just about asking a few sharper questions along the way and be a little bit more technical than probably as an investor you would be. So how are we applying this ourselves? At Indy Pixels Ventures, this is baked into how we evaluate and think about every company we look for our fund one. We're not saying we have got it all figured out. Nobody does yet. This space moves too fast for that. But we would rather ask these questions early than explaining to our investors later why we didn't ask these questions. We put the full breakdown of the 5 questions in more details, plus real examples into a short white paper. If you are an investor or you are on a board looking at AI risk right now, it's worth a quick read. Link in the description to download for free, or you can go also at our website, indypixels.co, and find it under resources. The takeaway for all this isn't AI is scary, stop investing. It's that companies who take security seriously now are going to be the ones people trust later. That's what we're building Indy Pixels Ventures around. If this was useful, please subscribe. We cover stuff like this every week: investment insights, venture capital insights, founder stories, and more. And if you're building or investing in the space, we would love to hear from you. Tell me what you are seeing in the comments, or reach out to us if you'd like to chat at any point. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Speaking of AI security, this video is brought to you by AI, a part of our Indy Pixels Ventures community. Every cloud environment is full of API keys, service accounts, and AI agent credentials that no one is watching. When one leaks, the breach is on you. Avistar gives MSPs a complete machine identity scan, agentless, read-only, deployed in just minutes. Learn more at avistar.ai.